So I talked to a friend the other day who was grieving the loss of her other friend who had just died of cancer. Her friend, she had battled cancer brilliantly, if you can do that. But she was strong and faithful through the whole process. And then it got to the point where there was nothing more that they could do. And so they called hospice and they started her dying process. All through her treatment, all through her hospice, her faith was so strong. My friend said it was so admirable. I wanted to be just like her. I wanted to have that kind of depth of faith that can kind of move mountains and fight through cancer and all of those things. The faith that comforted other people while they were grieving the loss of her. But in the last day before she died, her breath slowed down and she looked at her friend and asked this question that was so tough. Have I done enough? Have I done enough? How many of you have wondered this question before in your lives? When I dropped both of my older two children off to college for the first time, I wondered that question with my whole being. Have I done enough? Have I taught them enough? Or as I watch my younger two kids sleeping, I wonder, am I doing enough for them? Am I hugging them enough and reminding them how great they are enough, or loving them enough? When my mom was dying in the hospital from her cancer treatments, she looked at me and she asked me one of the biggest theological questions I could ever imagine. She said, Angie, have I done enough for God? Have I done enough? I think we all have this question wrestling around in our head somewhere. I texted a group of friends about what are the things that they're going through this time of the year. And what I heard back were some really deep and heavy burdens, some really deep worries, people carrying way more than their bodies and souls could hold, carrying their kids' emotional needs and baggage, their health burdens and their families' health burdens, and carrying work stressors and home stressors, carrying hope for just an exhale, not knowing when that time will come. They're just wanting a break. And these burdens, these worries, what they do is they make us feel like we are not enough, that we aren't good enough or strong enough or capable enough or disciplined enough or balanced enough or patient enough or any of that, or we just plain don't have enough time. Have we done enough with what we have? And I'll be really honest and vulnerable with you for a second. I think that sometimes the church adds to this not enoughness, if that's even a word. I've added it to my life, that's for sure. Sometimes we get this message that we should be these perfect, pious, goodly, Christ Christian people. People who are always giving, people who are always sacrificing, always caring, always providing, always studying, always teaching, always doing, and trying to get the whole project done. But then if we don't, we're left feeling guilty and empty. Have we done enough? The short answer for all of this question is probably no. Probably not. There's always more that we can do, isn't there? There's always more lessons or more adventures to have, or more service or more cookies to bake with your kids, or more prayer or more piety or more travels, more coaching, more time. You can always exhaust yourself in the possibility of being able to do more. But the question isn't if you could do more, but should you do more? We live in this world that teaches us to push more and hustle more and more should. And God actually teaches the opposite of it. That just sitting is enough. That taking a break is enough. That napping is enough. Just being who God created you to be is enough. That your worth is not based on accomplishment, but in whose you are. So the point is, it's never enough, and it's never going to be enough. And this is why God sent God's son Jesus in the first place. So you don't have to keep hustling. So you don't have to keep worrying. You don't have to keep questioning. So you can rest in the love of your Savior. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. Or Paul said in 2 Corinthians, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Or even Saint Mother Teresa once said, when you have nothing left but God, then you have more than enough. My friends, you are enough. What you do is enough. What you don't do is enough. So while you're charging into this new year, I want you to remember that today. I want you to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that today's trouble is enough for today. God has got you, and you are enough just as you are. Right here, right now.